This year marks the 20th anniversary of Pokemon being released in Japan, and all three of us being avid Pokemon fans, we thought it would be fitting to do a Pokemon episode. What better way to honor Pokemon than to return to Gen 1 and talk about the most famous myth in all of the series? I'm pretty sure all you Pokemon fans out there pretty much well know what we're going to talk about: Lavender Town Syndrome. We are going to examine its origins and talk about its merits. So sit back and let's analyze the most notorious Pokemon myth, right here on the New Age Gamers. For those of you who don't know our story, it begins with a town in the original Pokemon games, Red, Green, and Blue. This town is called, you guessed it, Lavender Town. This town is home to many ghost-type Pokemon, including the Pokemon Tower, which is a building that houses a giant graveyard for Pokemon. A graveyard in a Pokemon game? Isn't this a little odd for a game made for kids? And now that I think of it, another thing that is odd about Lavender Town is the soundtrack. The soundtrack of Lavender Town has caused some controversy over the years due to the various creepypasta posts on social media sites such as Reddit. On these posts, there are stories of people dying due to this soundtrack of this particular game. This was soon called the Lavender Town Syndrome, also known as Lavender Town Tone or Lavender Town Suicides, which was a peak in suicides and illness of children between the ages of 7 through 12, shortly after the release of Pokemon Red and Green in Japan, back in February 27, 1996. According to the legend, Lavender Town Syndrome was born when about 100 Japanese children aged between 10 and 15 jumped to their deaths, hanging themselves or mutilating themselves a couple of days following the release of Pokemon Red and Green. Other children supposedly complained about nausea and severe headaches. As the story goes on, officials eventually discovered that the children hurt themselves or felt ill after listening to the Lavender Town's background music. The myth states that the original Lavender Town theme contains high-pitched tones that compels children to lose their minds. These same officials came to the conclusion that since our ability to hear high-pitched tones diminishes as we age, young children are supposed to be especially susceptible to Lavender Town Syndrome. The problem with this story is that there are no official records of mass suicides, which discredits this creepypasta greatly. Now, it is true that as we as people get older, we lose our ability to hear high-pitched noises, and also, there are such things as sonic weapons, which can be used in warfare to rupture eardrums, but there is no magical note that drives people to kill themselves. In fact, there is no weapon available today that uses sound to kill. Rather, they are used as deterrents, such as a sound cannon that can be strapped to the front of a cargo ship to ward away pirates with high-pitched sound. But no way to kill a person with sound, let alone a catchy music like the soundtrack for Lavender Town. In fact, we've been playing the Lavender Town theme in the background of this video, and you're still with us. We hope. So, does this story of Lavender Town Syndrome have any merit or truth? Surprisingly, yes. In 1997, the anime version of Pokemon made headlines worldwide when flashing images from the episode Computer Soldier Porygon introduced seizures to over 600 Japanese children. Though most of the kids were fine, 2 had to be hospitalized for extended periods of time, and the Pokemon anime was pulled off the air for a few months as this situation was under investigation. To this day, that episode has never been broadcast on a network television ever again. If Pokemon was pulled off the air in 1997 due to seizures, if kids killed themselves, Pokemon would be banned, and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo would end up in court responsible for the deaths of these children. If that were true, Pokemon never would have developed into the global powerhouse that it is today. The fact that Pokemon still exists debunks this idea of the Lavender Town Syndrome. But it does make for a great story. And on that note, this is Bopes with the New Age Gamers, wishing you a great day.